Hello and welcome to the online section of Abnormal Psychology for Spring 2025. I'm April Pittman and I'm your instructor for this class, and I wanted to take a couple of minutes to go through a few things about the course, how you'll navigate the course, and that kind of thing. So to begin with, when you log into Moodle and go into our course area in Moodle, you will be taken to the Start Here page. And the Start Here page is also the Week 1 page, because this is where you have all of your assignments for Week 1. I say all of your assignments, but there really aren't that many for Week 1 because we're not really into the content yet. But we'll be getting into the content after this. So when you get to that Start Here page, the first thing you'll see is a short assignment checklist. And each week in the content section for that week, you'll have an assignment checklist that outlines what you need to be doing that week and also has information about deadlines when that work needs to be completed. And so the stuff for Week 1 needs to be completed by Friday, January 10th at 11:59 p.m. And then you can move on to the Week 2 materials. But in this video, I want to go ahead and go through some of the stuff on the Start Here page, talk a little bit about the course, and then before we finish up, I'll go ahead and take a look at Week 2 with you to sort of show you how you'll access the textbook and other things like that. So to begin with, for Week 1, these are the things that you need to do. First of all, you need to carefully read through the syllabus. And what you'll find is that there's now a section here in the contents menu for syllabus. And our syllabus is now in a Moodle Books format. So when you go to that syllabus section, you'll see that there are 2 chapters here for the syllabus. Chapter 1 has information about this course, and then Chapter 2 has information about Mainland policies and resources. And so that information about Mainland policies and resources is going to be sent the same for all of your Mainland classes, but of course this chapter 1, has information that is specific to this course. So information about contacts, assignments, methods of evaluation, those kinds of things, policies that are specific to this class. So when you click on that and go into Chapter 1, of course, to begin with, you'll see a short course description and information about prerequisites. And the only prerequisite for this class is Psych 150, the general psychology class. And then down below that, you'll get to the information about this course. So to begin with is information like the title of the course, the number and section, the term and year and all of that stuff. But just below that, you'll find information about course materials. And in the beginning of that information about course materials, you'll see some information about the Follett Access program that Mainland's Bookstore participates in. And so if you are a regular curriculum student, you'll want to read through this section carefully to understand how that Follett program works. If you're not a regular curriculum student, if you are a dually enrolled high school student, you're automatically opted out of this program. Because your high school is probably making sure you have access to your text materials. But for regular curriculum students, be sure that you read through this so you understand how that access program works, and you can best assess whether that's the best option for you. Now, below that, you will find information about the specific text for this class. It is The Essentials of Abnormal Psychology, the 8th edition by Durand, Barlow, and Hoffman. And you're going to be accessing that through Cengage Mind Tap. and we'll be looking at how that access occurs as we get into the first content section in week 2. But below the information about the materials, you'll find instructor information. So this has information about where to find me, my office hours, how to get in touch with me, my phone number, my email address, and also we require that students use their mail-in email addresses when communicating with their instructors via email. So just be sure that you're using that mail-in email address. Be sure that you're also checking your mail-in email regularly. I would recommend at least daily, because if I'm going to communicate with you individually, that's probably the way I'm going to do that. I'm going to send a message to your mail-in email. So be sure that you are using and checking your mail-in email. Now, down below that, you'll find some information about learning outcomes that are specific to this class, but also some College Core outcomes. And then below those core competencies, you'll also see our methods of evaluation for this class. So in the methods of evaluation, you'll see the different elements of your grade, chapter quizzes, there's a personality disorders assignment, a causal factors assignment, other assignments, and so on. And you'll see how much each of those elements makes up of your final grade. In this class, we're on a points system, so you can earn up to 1,000 points. There are 1,000 points possible throughout the course of the semester. And because we have what we sometimes refer to as a 10-point or a 10% scale at Mayland, that means with this point system that in order to earn an A in the class, you need to earn at least 900 points. So anything between 900 and 1,000 points is going to be an A, 800 and 899 is a B, and so on. Now, below the methods of evaluation, there are a few notes here about policies, procedures, things like that that are specific to this class. So to begin with, no late or makeup work is accepted in this class, except in situations where there are extreme extenuating circumstances that can be documented in some way. And here I include some examples of some of the types of documentation I'm talking about, but also this requires that students contact me in advance of the deadline or the exam date. So again, the policy is no late work or makeup work except in those situations. And if you request turning in something late, you need to request that before the date, the deadline or the exam date. And you also need to be prepared to share some form of documentation with me. There's some information there about grading and then how things count in this class. Couple of notes about a couple specific assignments that are used to assess learning outcomes in this class, and then some information about AI. Basically, you should read over this, but for our class, AI is not allowed. And so be sure to read over this information on AI, as well as the information about violations and consequences in the Student Code of Conduct and the Discipline and Appeals for Academic Violations procedure. So you've got access to those through the Mayland website. Course withdrawals. I hope that none of you have to withdraw. I hope you're all here until the end of the semester, but there are some important dates to be aware of related to withdrawal. First of all, we're in our drop add or schedule adjustment period between now and January 15th. And then after that, up until April 7th, we're in the withdrawal period. When you can withdraw, you just have to do some paperwork, get some signatures, and get that form turned back in. There's also some information here about administrative withdrawal. We have an administrative withdrawal policy at Mayland that states that if a student has missed 2 weeks of class, the instructor is required to administratively withdraw that student from class. Now, you may be wondering, how do I miss class when it's online? And basically, you miss class by not submitting assignments. The way you attend class in an online class is by submitting assignments in a timely manner. And you have assignments due each week. On weeks when we have discussion forums, you will have 2 deadlines that week, but that'll be outlined more in the assignment checklists. But just be aware of that administrative withdrawal policy. It's not a good idea to miss 2 weeks of class anyway, but those are, of course, some important things to know if that comes up. And then finally, at the bottom of this first chapter in the syllabus book, you'll find your course schedule for our course. And this outlines the weeks of the course, the topics for those weeks, and then there's just a brief little overview of assignments and the deadline for those assignments. But keep in mind that you'll have more detailed information about assignments in the assignment checklists in each section for each week of the course. So we'll look at one of those in just a few minutes. But you can scroll down through here and get an idea of what all is going to be covered, what we're going to be doing, and sort of what the timeline is for this semester. Now, I have also attached the syllabus in a Word document, so if you want to print off a copy of the syllabus, of the full syllabus that includes not only the information specific to this course, but also the Mayland policies and procedures, you can do that here. You can follow this link. So that is our syllabus, and that's the first thing. You need to go read that syllabus carefully, and then you need to come back here and complete this entry exercise. And the entry exercise is a short 3-question exercise that you can complete very quickly, and all students need to complete that in order to remain in the course for the semester. That's how we mark your entry into this online course. So it is imperative that you do that assignment as soon as possible. And you won't have access to other sections of the course until that assignment is completed. So, for example, week 2. The week 2 section has an assignment checklist, but if you scroll down, you'll see that the links to the resources and the assignments are not there. They're not available to you yet if you have not taken that entry exercise. So I'm going to go back here and quickly click through that entry exercise so that I can show you what else you will see in that content section once you've completed the entry exercise. Again, the entry exercise is short 3-question assignment that you can complete after reading through your syllabus. After you complete it, you can come down here and click Submit All and Finish. And then it asks you, are you sure you want to do that? And then you'll get a summary and you can review your attempt at that assignment. But once you do that, you will then have access to all of the information and materials in week 2. And we'll take a look at those in just a minute. But I want to go back to start here, week 1. and say that in addition to the entry exercise, you also need to introduce yourself to the rest of the class in the introductions forum, and then read the introductions of your classmates and respond to the introductions of at least 2 of your classmates. And you can respond to more than that, but I would ask that you come back and reread not only your classmates' introductions, but also some of the things that they may have responded to you, because they may be trying to get a conversation started. So they may be asking you some questions as well, and you can sort of have some chat back and forth. So that is here underneath the entry exercise and the announcements forum. So go ahead and do those things. And by doing those things, reading the syllabus, completing the entry exercise, and doing both parts of the introductions forum, introducing yourself, reading and responding to classmate posts, you'll have everything that you need to have done for week 1. But then week 2 officially starts I guess it would officially start on Saturday. But this is your assignment checklist for week 2. You need to read chapter 1 in the textbook and review materials in our course area in Cengage. Now, you may be wondering, well, how do I access our course area in Cengage? And that's really all located right here. In the resources for this section and for each content section, I'll have a link that will take you to our Cengage class materials. And of course, it's going to ask that you sign in. So if you haven't used Cengage before, you'll have to create a username and or you'll have to create an account, which includes using your mail-in email, and then you create a password.